Hey guys, Brent from Constant Training Systems here. Today I'm going to talk about carb cycling and how to set up a carb cycling setup for either fat loss or muscle gain. So you can see this is our calculator here, which actually we're going to make available for you guys to download today. So if you just go to the bottom, you should be able to download this, but watch the video. I'll show you how it works. It really does make it a lot easier to set up and know what you're doing. So why would you want to do a carb cycling diet? Well, two big things for me is one is insulin sensitivity. So that's how well your body responds to carbohydrates. So you're just having a set diet and your carbs are the same every day. Your insulin sensitivity tends not to be as good, and it just allows you having it cycled like this allows you to have more carbs, and also you can stack it around your training, which means your performance is going to be higher. So basically, your carb intake matches your training load. You want to be able to train hard, whether you're on fat loss or muscle gain, and it just allows you to push those carbs closer to, or on your workout days and around your workouts to get much higher performance. So people say that you can't lose fat and gain muscle at the same time, but I would say that more accurately that you can't do it at the exact same time. So in other words, you could say be preferentially burning fat in the morning and then supporting muscle growth, say in the afternoon and the evening. So your body can do that. It's not like, oh, I've got to go for 4 weeks of fat loss and then 4 weeks of muscle gain. You can actually, I would say you can't do it at the exact same time, but on the same day, you surely can. You can burn fat and then in the afternoon and evening, you can support muscle growth. So that's the way I look at it. And we have clients all the time who do lose fat and gain muscle at the same time. So it's not like this magical thing. So you see here, like I've got it set up for me, I weigh about 100 kilos. And you see when you chuck a different weight in here, the numbers change. So we got training days, rest days, and refeed days. This will change, depending on the person. But so you can see if I go to 80 kilos, all the calories and the macros zone. So here we've got training days, calories for each total, and then for each macro, rest days, refeed days, and then here it's got the grams for each one. So on the training day, we're going to have 187 grams of protein. If they're 80 kilos, it will go for me. So say 100 kilos. So you can see here, I'll be having 2,800 calories training days and rest days, and then 3,800 on a refeed day. So this is based around fat loss. So we can change the equation. So you see the equation here. I've got body weight in pounds times 15 minus 500. I mean, that's just a general start point. It could be a lot more or less depending on the person. To start, and this is a good point to bring up, when you start this, you need to have a good idea of what you're eating right now. So, you can use one of these sort of ballpark calculations. Like there's heaps of different methods out there to calculate what your basal calories are going to be. None of them are going to be exactly right, so you just got to get something that's going to be pretty close. The body weight in pounds, so times it by 2.2 get pounds, times 15 is a pretty common one. And it's just simple. Like there's more complicated ones out there, but I don't think they're any better. It's just about getting someone to start and then tweaking it. The magic of this sort of diet is in the tweaks. So it's not about where you start. Everyone can start at the same calories, but you have to see how your body responds and then tweak it. So I've got here, so it's fat loss. So I've got basically body weight in pounds and then minus 500. So that'd be like a 500 calorie deficit for each of these days. And then we've got a 500 calorie surplus, as you can see there on the refeed day. So, in over a week, that'd be 2,500 calorie deficit over a week. So you can see your weekly calories here as well. And like I said, you change these numbers. So if I feel like I'm not getting any response, I could drop this. I could drop this by more. I could take this down to 600, and then that would reduce my calories, and then it would automatically adjust all the macros as well for training days. But yeah, so I'll leave it at minus 500. So you just got to find, the main thing is just find a starting point and go with it. And then obviously we've got the percentages here of each macro. So you can see here on training days, we've got 35%, 35% and 30. Carbs, training days 35, 15. So on rest days, we want to have less carbs. Like I said, to maintain that insulin sensitivity, and also that means we're going to have a lot more fat. So you see on rest days, we're going to have fat at around 50%, which is quite high, but that's because we want to keep our body sensitive to carbohydrates. So we're going to have most of them on training day. And then with the refeed day, you could actually I would put that on the hardest workout. So if I was training legs, I'd whack the refeed on leg day. It's got a very high amount of carbs, so 50%. So for me, that is 475 grams of carbs, which is a fair whack. And then obviously to compensate, we've got fats a fair bit lower and protein just a little bit lower. So that's going to be a higher calorie day. It's basically not in a deficit the whole week. Deficit 6 days a week, and then refeed day you just have once a week. So if you're training 4 days a week, you'd have 3 days here on the training day setup, and then you'd have your hardest day, say legs day, would be on the refeed day, and then obviously you'd have your 3 days off on this one here on your rest days. So I'll put in an example. If you're going to do it for muscle gain, well then you might have it. You change the equation, so you'd go, you might go start off with plus 300 plus 500 on your training days, and then you might go just maintenance on your rest days, and then you could still have so you could just leave it like that. I would do it like that. So rest days you have slightly less, like I said, that'd be like roughly maintenance, and then on a training day, you'd have plus 500, and then you can have a surplus day, an extra surplus day, which you could go even higher depending on what your fat gains are looking like. If you're not gaining much fat, you could have one day that's super high, so something like that. And as you can see, like you can tweak this any way you like. But what we would do is I would start them on a basic setup. So if it was fat loss, I'd go back to the minus 500 and minus 500, like that, and refeed day, change that back to 500. So yeah, I'd start something like that. Then we do their body fat measurement every week or every 2 weeks, and then just depending on what they're going, like look at how much lean mass they're gaining, how much fat they're losing or gaining, and tweak it based on that. So if they're not losing fat as quick as we'd like, we can drop these down a bit, or if they're losing fat really quick and they've dropped lean mass as well, then we might chuck up a bit, or they might be cruising along just fine. So the key is, I guess, in the adjustments. So that's it. We've got lots of other, as you can see down here, we've got a few other different calculators we use. I think this is probably my favorite one. It's still simple but really effective. Obviously you can do a lot more. We've got another one here which is got a lot more low, medium and high days, and a refeed day, which is pretty full on, but you don't have to worry about that. I think this is probably the favorite one. It's going to suit the most people. So like I said, scroll down, give it a download, give it a go, and see if you can set up something for yourself.